What does it mean to be Australian under Labor? Now, when I think of what it means to be an Aussie, I think of pride in this country, pride in our flag. I think of the values the Anzacs instilled, like mateship, courage and bravery. But that is all redundant under Labor, which continues to make a complete mockery of this country and a mockery of everyday Aussies through the people it keeps bringing in. Home Affairs Minister Tony Bourke has announced that as many as 700 Gazans could soon call Australia home.
The people who we have on our caseload, there's roughly 600 to 700 of them roughly 600 to 700 on our caseload. Sometimes we have people on our caseload where we don't know if they're still alive. But we've got roughly 600 to 700 on our caseload.
Look, this is an utter insult to everyday, law-abiding, peaceful Aussies. Last year, they let in under 2,000 Gazans with little to no security checks. Tony Bourke even did a private meet and greet at Sydney Airport with one family when Gazans touched down a few weeks ago. In fact, he spoke of the delight in welcoming them in just yesterday.
That mother and daughter had spent 18 months hiding in a church in Gaza. Before I had the portfolio, just by chance, someone had handed me a phone and I'd found myself having a video conversation with them while they were hiding. I was really pleased to be a minister in the sort of country where I could meet them at the airport and I could say, you're welcome here, you're safe.
Gaza's neighbours, including Egypt and Jordan, have refused to take refugees despite the 2-year Israel-Hamas war. But Australia under Labor has the welcome mat unfurled. And don't forget the majority of Gazans support Hamas and supported the October 7, 2023 attack on Israel. And what Tony Bourke is just so sure that those he's let in don't support Hamas? I mean, we already have a rampant anti-Semitism problem in this country, and the minister wants to bring in more refugees, some of whom may be sympathetic to Hamas. Really? Not to mention ISIS brides have been welcomed in with open arms. We have a mass migration problem as it is. What is this Australia, and what does it mean to be Australian under Labor anymore? Because I think Australia is a soup bowl of dangerous ideology which has been imported, and throw that into a big Australia policy which has seen some people come here whose values are entirely incompatible with our own. And Labor calls it multiculturalism and keeps the door open. And look, federal Labor is not immune. The Daily Telegraph revealed today that tens of thousands of taxpayer dollars have been thrown at a Sydney Islamic group with Hezbollah ties and whose leader publicly vowed the annihilation of Israel. The New South Wales government granted the Araham Benevolent Society $33,000 in social cohesion and security payments. It comes 8 months after the Society's mosque in Sydney held a commemoration ceremony for 3 killed Hezbollah fighters. And don't forget that Hezbollah is a listed terror group in Australia. When will our interests as Australians be put first? Because Labor is a threat to our social cohesion. And I've said this before, and I'll say it again, I do not think we have control over the culture we're trying to create anymore. The horse has bolted. And what a shame Labor does not know what it means to be Australian.